Hi guys, and welcome for an exercise which is intentionally a bit tricky. When I say a bit, I mean very, because I have put all the possible complexities in this exercise. So I used some Vandertramps, I used some irregulars, I used a few reflexives. So it's really to challenge you on your grammar. Please, if you're in year 7, 8 or 9, forget about this exercise. It's way too hard. Year 10, 11, 12, 13, that's if you're into tricky grammar and complex grammar, this is for you. So this is really aiming at challenging you. Please, to do that, use your grammar mat. Each time you're about to translate a sentence, ask yourself which tense is used in the sentence. And I have put the infinitive and a bit of vocab between brackets. If there's vocab that you don't know, feel free to use an online translator or a dictionary, but don't use an online translator for the tenses, otherwise there's no point doing the exercise. But if you want to use it for something like all day, that's fine. So pause the video, take your time, and I'll get started on the correction in a few seconds. So here we go. Let's have a bit of fun with that. Let's rip the page off for a start, otherwise I can't mark. And the first one, I am dreaming to travel. I am dreaming. Ask yourself what tense it is. Don't start translating that with je suis for I am. No, because that's your present tense. So the first one, I am dreaming, it's je. Then you take your infinitive and you use the present tense for that. So je rêve. Take off the er, put the present ending for je, which is i. Then don't forget that after rêver, if you're dreaming of doing something or to do something, you need that preposition. And then after that, you use an infinitive. So you just have to copy it like it is between brackets. So, je rêve de voyager. I am dreaming to travel, or I am dreaming of traveling. I don't know what sounds the most English, but you will know better than that, than me on this one. Number 2, she went out last night. She went out, you should know it's a past, and you should identify fairly quickly a perfect tense. What I hope you have identified is that this is a Vandertramp verb. So you need to be careful about a few things. First, your auxiliary. So, elle for your pronoun. Then, because it is a Vandertramp verb, you need the auxiliary to be. So it won't be elle a, it will be elle est. Then, that's a regular for the ending, so take off the IR, put an I. But for Vandertramps, because we use the auxiliary to be, and here we're talking about a female person, we need to agree that, so we put an I, and then finish your sentence. Last night, la nuit dernière. You could also say hier soir, and that would be just as accurate. So, elle est sortie la nuit dernière. She went out last night. They are going to hurry up. The only difficulty here is to figure out where to put the reflexive pronoun, but that's the only one. So, they, I don't care which they you use, but for once I'm going to use the female one. So they are going to go out. They are going to hurry up. They are going, it's the verb to go in the present tense for that part, so elles vont. And then the rule for the near future that I want you to use here, the rule says verb to go in the present tense plus infinitive. Your reflexive pronoun is part of your infinitive, so those two bits stick together. So elles vont se dépêcher. If you wanted to say I am going to hurry up, it would be je vais, and here you would have to change the reflexive pronoun into me. That's just an FYI as a reminder. You will do your homework tonight. You will do your homework. It's something you definitely should do, but it's a simple future here. So you will do with faire, it's an irregular verb, so you'd better know this one off by heart, especially if you're at A level. So number 4, put the tu for a start. Then this one has an irregular stem in the simple future, which is FER. And on that stem, you put the normal simple future ending, which is AS, if you want to use to. So you will do, tu feras. Then your homework. Homework is always plural. So your has to be plural, and it's te. Tonight, ce soir, I gave that to you, so no difficulty here. We would improve if we worked harder. This one is actually really tricky, the whole sentence. So, first question you ask yourself, what tense am I using? You have a conditional which is fairly easy to spot here because you have would. However, this tense is not so easy to identify if you're not used to that construction. When you have a conditional and the if introducing a condition, the condition is usually in the imperfect tense, and that's the case here. This worked here is in the imperfect tense. Now that we know that, we can work out the sentence. I had not specified that I wanted nous, so I'll have to do the correction for both, I guess. So I'm going to start with nous. For the conditional of s'améliorer, you keep the infinitive as it is, but you need to be careful about the reflexive pronoun. So for nous, the reflexive pronoun turns into nous, so you repeat it even if it sounds weird. Nous, then you put your infinitive, améliorer, and then you put your conditional ending for nous, which is IONS, and it gives you a word that is really hard to pronounce. Nous améliorerions. Améliorerions. You will hate that. There's too many R's for you. But that's the way it is. If, si, we keep the nous because we won't change halfway through the sentence. We worked harder, so this is supposed to be, well, this has to be an imperfect. So imperfect tense, you start with the nous form of the present tense. So nous form of the present tense, I'll do it here as a draft. We work, take off the ER, put ONS, scratch that, and you have your stem. So si nous, that's your stem coming from here. And then the imperfect ending here for nous is, again, IONS, even if it's two different tenses for one's same ending. Harder, plus dur. So if I read that, nous nous améliorerions si nous travaillions plus dur. Even for me it's hard to say. Let's do it with on. So on, obviously we're not keeping nous for the reflexive pronoun because the subject pronoun has changed. So on, put your infinitive entirely. On s'améliorerait because it's the ending for on. Si, on. You take that stem again, put the imperfect ending, which is AIT, si on travaillait plus dur, you finish the sentence. I'm lazy, I'm not writing the end. Number 6, he used to disobey his teacher. Clearly this one has improved. So he used to disobey his teacher. That's an imperfect, and this is clear. You shouldn't have any doubt about that because it's a past action over a length of time. So a past action over a length of time, always imperfect. Take this verb here, like for this one, put it in the present tense with nous. So nous, we disobey, take off the IR, put the present ending for IR verbs, and that's where the trick is. It's ISSONS. Scratch the ONS. And now we can start working properly. He, il. Then put the stem that you have just found, disobey, and put that. Then the imperfect ending for he, which is AIT, il désobéissait. I did put the preposition here you need it, a. Teacher, prof, and it's plural. His, if it's plural, and if it's a possession, it's SES. Il désobéissait à ses professeurs. I am going to forward that so that we can carry on. Number 7, you had left before her arrival. Once again, I've been mean. I hope you realized that, because partir is a Vandertramp, so you'd better be careful about what you put for had here. You had left. We're going to keep it simple and use to. Had left, it's a pluperfect. Careful, it is not a perfect tense. The perfect tense would be you have left. So here, pluperfect tense with a Vandertramp. I need that to be the auxiliary to be, so être, in the imperfect tense. I'm just talking about the first part here. So you were, literally, you were, the verb to be in the imperfect, it's tu étais. And then, for that, for my past participle, I follow the normal rule, take off the IR, put an I instead, so tu étais parti. But, once again, because it's a Vandertramp, I need to agree. Now, I don't know here if I'm talking to a girl or a boy, but if I'm talking to a girl, I would put an I without even the brackets. So you had left before her arrival, before avant. Arrival, I gave that word to you. Theoretically, I wouldn't write like that, write the last words before the previous, but when it's about possessive adjectives, I tend to see a lot of mistakes, so I'd rather do it this way. Arrival, arriver, is a feminine word, but it starts with a vowel. So it doesn't matter if it's feminine or masculine or whatever. In this case, it has to be preceded by son. Theoretically, a feminine word would be preceded by sa, but I can't have an a here and another hey here. So to make it sound fluent, avant son arrivée, here, when I have son, I can link those two words. Number 8. And the meanness continues because you have two Vandertramps here. So after having fallen, which is a perfect infinitive. Après, you need, because this is a Vandertramp, you need to use the auxiliary to be in the infinitive form, so that's être. Fallen, take off the ER, put an E. But, super mean teacher, I decided to talk about a girl here. So even if you don't know, when you only look at that, if you're talking about a girl or a boy, you need to check what's coming after. Here, it's a girl or a woman. You need to agree. Après être tombée, she went to the hospital. She went, that's the verb to go. Once again, it's a Vandertramp, but here it's in the perfect tense. So elle est allée. But we're still talking about a female person, so I still need to agree, to the hospital, à l'hôpital. There you go. Number 9. Here comes the subjunctive. It is possible that we're going to get rid of that because that's easy. Il est possible que I succeed by making an effort. I succeed. I'm going to put that up just so I can do a draft here and work out the subjunctive. Um, I succeed in the subjunctive. I need to start with the they form in the present tense with this verb here, réussir. So I take off the IR, put my present ending, which is ISSENT, take off the they, take off ENT, and I have my stem now. So, il est possible que je réussisse. I stop after the double S, the second one. And on that, I add my subjunctive ending, which is I. Il est possible que je réussisse. I know it looks weird again, but that's just the French way. By making, in this case, and very often, it's the verb faire. And that's a present participle, so I need to start with the new form of the present tense. Once again, very mean, because faire is irregular in the present. So you have to remember that we do in the present is nous faisons. Take off the nous, take off ONS, you have your stem here, and then you can use that to build your present participle. So en is by. Then take your stem here and add the present participle ending, which is ent, and you have en faisant un effort. This is actually the easiest part of the sentence, un effort. There you go. So il est possible que je réussisse en faisant un effort. Next one, and if you're in year 10 or 11, you should stop now. What comes after is pure A-level, so you will really struggle if you attempt it, I think. So, now that my folding is done and I'm ready, the past historic for the next sentence, I hope you realize there were two verbs, so two past historic. Number 10. I had problems. I had is irregular in almost all the tenses, if not all. So I had in the past historic j'eus problems. That's not difficult, except that I wanted to trick you, I wonder if I have, by not putting some here. Because in English you can spare some problems, but in French I need an article here and I need an indefinite article. I had some problems. You cannot skip des, j'eus des problèmes, but he helped, which is aider, take off the ER, put the past historic ending, which is A, and then I've got to figure out where to put me. And because he helped me, he helped who, that's a direct object pronoun, so it will come before the verb, and it's written theoretically exactly the same, except that I have a vowel here at the beginning of my verb, so I can't put me, I just put m apostrophe. I hope this is all clear. 11. He will have stayed home all day. That's a future perfect. So he will have. That part here is your simple future. So if you know how to say he will have, you're good. If you don't, you're not good, and you should know that off by heart. So il. Oh, I forgot. To stay is a Vandertramp, so actually you can't say he will have, you have to say he will be, because you need the auxiliary to be here. So il sera, stay, take off the ER, that's your normal past participle. Il sera resté à la maison. I gave that to you. All day, literally all the day, toute la journée. There you go. If it were she, I would put an E here to agree, because once again it's a Vandertramp. Number 12, he would have relaxed if he had had the time. I know you don't use that very often in English, but that's the proper way in French. I hope it sounds correct too in English. And I have a reflexive verb. So he. Careful about the reflexive pronoun, but on this one there's actually no trick. You keep it the way it is. So il se. Then you want to use the conditional perfect here. Would have relaxed, conditional perfect, with a reflexive verb. Therefore, this will work exactly like a Vandertramp. And I need, once again, to have the auxiliary to be, not to have. So, he, if I want to say that in broken parts, you need to write he would be. So that's il se serait. Then this part, détendre, works like a normal, regular past participle. So take off the re, put a u. It's a male, so we don't need to agree. If it were anything else than a male, so a female or plural, we would have to agree the past participle. He would have relaxed. Our conditional perfect is done, but now we have a pluperfect to deal with an irregular verb. Si, il. So it's irregular. You use the auxiliary to have in the imperfect. Whoa, I just spotted a massive mistake. I hope you have seen it too. Si, il, two vowels in a row. You can't have that. Take that off. Sorry for the scribbles. And put an apostrophe. Now, back to my pluperfect. If he had had the time. So far, I have written that. If he had, but I need that, which is had again, which is the past participle of the verb to have, which is irregular. It's eu, s'il avait eu, the time, le temps. And last but not least, she has been robbed, which is a lovely passive voice. I hope you spotted that. So let's put it this way now. I feel like I'm doing origami really in that exercise. So she has been robbed, passive voice. What tense is that? That's a perfect tense, if I'm not mistaken. I always have a doubt when I'm dealing with the passive voice, so I understand if you're confused too. She has been. You have to write that word for word using the verb être in the perfect tense. So, elle a été, and then you put your past participle here, following the normal rule. Take off the er, put an e accent. So, take off your er, put an e accent, but once again we're talking about a female person, so you need an i. Elle a été cambriolée. So, that's what you should have for this exercise. Unfortunately, I can't make all the translations together fit in the screen, but I hope that's clear. I hope my explanation helps. I also hope you actually had a bit of fun making your brain work on this one. I really like to do those just because it takes so much mental activity to spot the irregulars and the Vandertramps and the exceptions and all of it. I actually have a lot of fun with those when I prepare them for you, trying to make them really hard. So I hope that really challenged you, and there will be more to come. See you guys.